आज आमचे डायरेक्टर टुरिझम बाब केदार नाईक, MD बाब कुलदीप आरुलकर, TTAGचे प्रेसिडेंट बाब जॅक सुकीजा, तसेच ऑथॉरिटीज ऑफ द एअरपोर्ट्स, इंडस्ट्री, friends from all the hoteliers to the captains of the industry who have been involved in charter movements, to the people who have been providing services in terms of tourism as far as Goa is concerned, सगळे जण हांगा आसात. आज आमी एक मीटिंग मागयल्ली, keeping in mind the present trend, present conditions and what is the plan ahead. Goa has been a very preferred destination and tourism astana as it contributes to the economy very importantly and also ensures about the direct and indirect employment. त्यांना एक important जाता की एक रिव्ह्यू घेवचो पडटा, जातूंतल्यान आमी we had a comparison of last year to this year and then slowly certain challenges have come in. The US and the Iran war, which although is a ceasefire, we don't know what is happening next. Certain things, challenges coming out of this have started hitting the economic conditions. Cylinders are bakiche with the help of our Prime Minister's initiatives. Aajparent Bharat Desh is able to move ahead and ensure that emergencies are not there. If you look at other countries, they have already moved. Some people have locked down like those COVID conditions. Illani खूप preemptive already moves केल्ले आसा आणि त्यांना जेन्ना देश फुडें वता तेन्ना आमचे प्रायम मिनिस्टरांनी ऑलरेडी हॅज गिवन अ कॉल टू द कंट्री. एक म्हणल्यार भायर वचपाचें बंद करप. नो अनलेस इट इज अ इम्पॉर्टंट ट्रॅवल, नॉट टू ट्रॅवल अब्रॉड, not to spend the forex or whatever the Indian money abroad, in terms of keeping and ensuring that we have a proper conditions as far as the Indian currency is concerned आणि वाडपा inflation नाका म्हणून inflation कशें control करप. At the same time, with these challenges of the war and the other things, there are crude prices, oil prices are going up, fuel prices are going up, consumption जे आसा तें वाडटा आणि त्या टायमार there shouldn't be a panic आणि ताज्या खातीर एक प्रायम मिनिस्टरान जे ऑलरेडी उलयले ताज्या प्रमाणे गोंय सरकारूय आमचे मुख्यमंत्री आमी वी टूक अ प्लॅन ऑफ इनिशिएटिंग दिस टायप ऑफ थिंग्स एज फार एज गोवा इज कन्सर्न. नाउ कमिंग टू टुरिझम, वी हॅव टू अंडरस्टँड द वे अहेड. Monsoons last year was planned very well thanks to the industry, the airlines, the hoteliers, the trade. Everybody got together and created a monsoon packages. And the monsoon package केल्ल्या खातीर the whole industry thrived. They got good numbers. They sold good packages. The economy was good in the quarters which normally would be flat. आता the next 6 to 7 months of this particular year, if you cut them into 2 quarters or 2.5 quarters, जाल्यार आमकां एक पयलें दिश्टी पडटा की मॉन्सून ताज्या मागीर नवें वर्स. आनी तेन्ना आमी जेन्ना हांगा पळयतात जाल्यार वी हॅव टू अंडरस्टँड वॉट एक्झॅक्टली इज हॅपनिंग. सो ओवरऑल पळयलें जाल्यार द फर्स्ट क्वार्टर एंड द मंथ ऑफ एप्रील, whether it was weddings, whether it was conferences, whether it was families, whether it was the Gen Z or the Gen Alpha, the comparison kele, the industry was happy about the numbers overall in terms of the tourism that happened from January to April. May chan we start looking at tourism in a perspective that monsoon येता जाल्यार आमी कितें करपा जाय. लास्ट इयरचे व्यू पॉइंट्स घेवन फुडें वचपा जाय की with these challenges of the war, there are certain restrictions of certain countries which would normally travel with international numbers, whether they will be sustaining the same numbers or they will be going down. अजून पर्यंत ताचेर आमकां कांय क्लियर पिक्चर जरी मेळना. वी हॅव टू बी क्वायट पेसिमिस्ट एंड ऑप्टिमिस्ट. इफ द numbers go down, what is our backup plan? And optimist that how do we take this and curate newer markets? Areas which are not affected over flying over Middle East, whether we can tap newer markets is one part we are looking at. At the same time, domestic, आमचे भितर जे देशान आसात लोक जे ट्रॅव्हल करूंक सोदतात, हाऊ वी कॅन अट्रॅक्ट देम टू गोवा. देर आर डेस्टिनेशन्स विच आर हिली डेस्टिनेशन्स फ्रॉम द नॉर्थ टू द साऊथ. तुवें पळयलें जाल्यार देर आर पीपल हू हॅव टर्न्ड आउट टू बी सिरियस tourism destinations in certain states, and they are also in competition. Also, they may not be able to compete in the same sector as Goa is concerned. So, what is the happiness question that we can give the tourist? आज सगळ्यांकडे डेलिब्रेशन जाले, खूपशे इनपुट्स इंडस्ट्री कडल्यान आयले. What is it that we need to do? Certain corrections that it is. End of the day, government is a facilitator. What they want, we need to ensure that we work together. It is a part of collaboration that we need to work with the industry in this highly competitive market if we need to ensure that Goa wins. आणि ताज्या खातीर आयची ही मिटींग सगळे इंडस्ट्रीचे लोक, एअरलायन्स, airport authorities, OTA platforms who are there on VCs, the people who have been here, who have been having a large experience of hotel industry, the hotel owners, the people who have been associated with hotels, the people who have been associated with charter companies and charter flight operations, and the FITs, the people who have been involved in the airlines concerned, and who have been moving the trade in terms of packages in Goa. It might be Goemkar, it might be Soul Traveler, it might be the rest of them, who have been feeling the hit or trying to understand whether they have gained in the last quarter and what needs to be done. आयच्या दिसाक आमी सगळ्यांनी एक कडेन येवन एकूच ठराव घेतलो की एक म्हणल्यार सगळे प्रेजेंटेशन समजून आमचे बाब जॅक सुकीजानी एक प्रेजेंटेशन हाडिल्लें इज हाव इट वॉज एंड वॉट नीड्स टू बी डन. आणि टुडे द कॉन्क्लुजन ऑफ द मीटिंग इज दॅट वी नीड टू एक्चुअली सीट फॉर एटलीस्ट a brainstorming session ASAP. The decision makers need to be invited, the OTA platform needs to be invited, and we need to have a plan which will have not only this quarter but the next 6 months in total. की बाबा आमी फेस्टिवल्स वाडोवचे पडटा, डॉमेस्टीक खंय वाडोवचे पडटा, खंयच्या सेक्टरान टार्गेट करचे पडटा, टार्गेट ऑडियन्स कितें आसची पडटली, इन्फ्लुएन्सरांचो रोल कितें आसतलो, कलिनरी एक्सपिरियन्स आमी दिवपाक जाय ना काय नाका, हेरिटेज इंडो पोर्चुगीज एक्सपिरियन्स लोकांक दिवपाक जाय काय नाका. सो स्ट्रॅटेजीक पोजिशनिंग आमी कशें करपाक जाय हाचेर विचारधारा करपाक येता त्या फुडल्या विकान 20 तारखेक वी हॅव कॉल्ड all the stakeholders who have been instrumental to keep Goa as ambassadors. They have all contributed. आयच्या दिसाक शेकवाले भाव, वॉटर स्पोर्ट्स वाले भाव तांकां सेपरेट मिटींग घेतले कितें इट द कोस्ट. But importantly, whole as far as the accommodation and rest of the things are concerned, I think this is one part which we have taken up today. Charter numbers which they are flattish, how we can increase it. MPTचो PPPचे क्रूज टर्मिनल अजून पण ओपन जावना, तितले बेगीन ओपन करूंक शकता. तशेंच एअरलायन मिटिंग्स घेवन आमी कनेक्टिविटी विच लुक्स टू बी अ चॅलेंज विथ द ATF गोईंग हाय, एअरलायन फ्युअल गोईंग हाय, एअरलायन्स रेट्स आर गोईंग हाय. सो ती चॅलेंज त्या टायमार घेता आसतना ह्या सगळ्या चॅलेंजीसांतल्यान आमी वाट कशी काडूंक शकता ह्या विचारान आमी आज खुबसो डिस्कशन केल्लें आसा. आणि येता त्या 20 तारखेक हे ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग सेशन घेवन वी विल एन्श्योर दॅट वी हॅव अ व्हेरी क्लियर प्लॅन ऑफ एक्शन, very structured, and how we strategically position ourselves. At the same time, get the numbers right so that the economy and the overall conditions of Goa, which is dependent on tourism, does not decline, but we look at ensuring that it moves in a very static or in a very increased position. आम्ही मीटिंग जनरली घेतल्या, बट ट्रेंड समज जगाचो पयलो ग्लोबल ट्रेंड पळोवचो पडटा. ग्लोबल ट्रेंड पळयतकर कॉन्फरन्सीस एकदा देवंक शकता, वेडिंग्स एकदा पोस्टपोन जावंक शकता. देर आर सर्टन थिंग्स वीच कॅन हॅपन, आनी जेन्ना हे इंडस्ट्रीक दिश्टी पडटा तेन्ना इट इज आवर रोल. सो डिरेक्टर कॉल्ड फॉर दीस मीटिंग विथ ओनली वन इनिशिएटीव दॅट वी नीड द इंडस्ट्री टू टेल अस विथ दीस वॉल लायक सिट्युएशन आतां पर्यंत कितें आसा आनी आतां फुडें कशें आसा. आतांचे एक्सपिरियन्स तांचे सगळ्यांचे हॅज बीन अ हॅपी क्वेश्चन इन टर्म्स ऑफ द नंबर्स दॅट दे हॅव रिसिव्ड फ्रॉम जॅन टू मार्च एप्रील. हाज्या फुडें कशें आसतलें आनी समज कितें जालें आनी स्पेशली विथ दीस होल चॅलेंज ऑफ द एअरलायन्स एंड द कनेक्टिविटी, आय थिंक वी नीड टू अंडरस्टँड नंबर्स. पयर इंडिगोन इंडिकेटर दिलो की थोडे फ्लायट्स देंवयतले म्हणून. थोडे फ्लायट्स खंय देंवयतले सांगलें ना, पूण देंवयतले म्हणून. थोडी सुद्दां नंबर्स देंवले. आज सुद्दां वेन वी लुक एट द फ्लायट्स कमिंग इन, every flight coming to Goa is a full flight, domestic. So people are traveling.
Because of Middle East, how much our tourism sector is affected?
Middle East खातीर हांव म्हणचो ना, but the problem is that everything earlier Middle East used to connect directly to Goa. Now certain sectors like Qatar and all, they are connecting, but the numbers of direct connecting flights which were connecting to the UK and other areas or whatever we had, the direct flights have dropped. Now there is an indicator that AI and शेवटी आम्ही एक वाटेन ट्रेन मुवमेंट पळयलो, दुसऱ्या वाटेन एअरलायन मुवमेंट पळयलो, जाल्यार एअरलायन मुवमेंट समज देंवता जाल्यार टुरिजम आमी कितलेय फुडें व्हरपाक गेले जाल्यार वील हॅव अ सर्टन चॅलेंज इन टर्म्स ऑफ गेटिंग द टुरिस्ट इन टू द स्टेट एंड वायस वर्सा. सो डॉमेस्टीक सुद्दां ट्रॅव्हल करतलो जाल्यार पयलो ताका फ्लायट जाय. फ्लायट जाय जाल्यार टिकेट तशी आसूंक जायना की ही कांट फ्लाय. बट आज टिकेट समज हाय सुद्दां आसा, एअरलायन्स hoteliers also are commanding a price, still the flights are going full. That means one thing is very clear, that quality tourists coming into Goa don't mind spending because they don't get a destination like Goa. Now we need to look at the whole year and the scenario how we can create. We are an international destination, and if we need to have the international destination in the right manner, we need to have the international numbers also going high. Last few years, our new markets tapping with the help of the industry, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Novosibirsk, Ekaterinburg, Poland. He flight schedule and charters in this new market started coming in. Charter operators like TUI connecting Gatwick and Manchester gave us numbers. CIS countries numbers कसो वाडोवपाचो बाकीचे कितें करपाचें we need to have a plan. And ताज्या खातीर म्हाका तरी दिसता we are optimistic as of today to run a good year for tourism in Goa in terms of domestic numbers. We need to ensure that the same thing happens with international numbers also. So Middle Eastaंतल्यान वयल्यान जे येताल्यो फ्लायटी त्यो रिरूट जाल्या बाकीच्यो जाल्या तुमकांय खबर आसा आमकांय खबर आसा पूण आमकां गोंया कनेक्टिंग ज्यो डायरेक्टली जाताल्यो फ्लायट्स दोज नंबर्स हॅव ड्रॉप्ड आनी ताज्या खातीर थंय आमी जेन्ना पळयता आमी कशें तयार करूंक शकता हाजेर विचारधारा एवरीबडी हॅज टू टॉक टुगेदर. It is not that we start thinking and we take decisions. That is why this meeting has been called, so that the trade needs to tell what is, because they have the experience. We have to facilitate where they think it's a grey area. The grey area जी push जायना थंय आमी रावन push करपाचें तांकां हेल्प करपाचें. Orilli area they are managing. So आमी तांकां एकूच दिलां कितें एक हॉटेल बरें करता म्हणटा आनी एकूच जाण उगी रावपाचें ना. आज सगळ्या इंडस्ट्रीनी बरोबर रावचें पडटलें. So it cannot be I am selling, I am quite one. It has to be everybody helping each other in this time of adversity or whatever we look at in terms of ensuring that Goa and the economy and the industry as far as tourism is concerned is in the right manner.
Sir, how is it call given and if necessary you ask us to travel to
one side you are deliberating on various issues and one side PM Modi is giving a message.
पळय प्रायम मिनिस्टरचो एप्रोच आज पर्यंत हॅज बीन व्हेरी प्रोएक्टीव. लास्ट टायम जेन्ना तुमकां सांगिल्लें तुमकां तेन्ना कळना कितें सांगतालें खंयच्या कळ्ळें टॉपीक ती नोटबंदी कळ्ळी मार्केट जाल्ली ती. सो तेन्ना कित्याक जालें हाव इट टर्न आउट टू बी पॉझिटिव्ह फॉर द कंट्री लेटर वी केम टू नो. सिमिलरली आज जो कितें सांगता ही इज पुटींग अ शाउट आउट टू द पीपल ऑफ द कंट्री विथ व्हेरी क्लियर इंडिकेटर्स की आमी आज टायम आसा टू कॉन्ट्रिब्यूट टू आवर नेशन इन द वे वी कॅन. जी गरज ना ती करची न्हय आनी जी गरज आसा ताज्या खातीर तुमी कितें करतात ताजे आपले प्रॉब्लेम ना म्हणून. पूण जे कंट्रीज ऑलरेडी तांकां फिलींग येवंक लागले दे स्टार्टेड गेटिंग इनटू लॉकडावन मोड. सर्टन कंट्रीज इफ आय नेम इट मेबी यू कॅन जस्ट गो टू द नेट एंड सी तांणी ऑलरेडी बर्न फ्युअल येना फ्युअलाची रेट खंयच्या खंय पावली आज पर्यंत कंट्रोल्ड आसा. इंडस्ट्री इज स्टील कंट्रोल्ड बट इट इज आवर पार्ट टू कॉन्ट्रिब्यूट. कित्याक इन्फ्लेशन वाडटलेंच वरा वेळार. इन्फ्लेशन वाडटल्यार इन्फ्लेशन कशें धरप डॉलर आमचो रुपी कसो विकन्न जावपाक दिवप ताजे खातीर ताणें जे मेजर्स घेतल्या आज आमी एज अ इंडियन सिटीजन आमचें कर्तव्य आसा आज उबो रावन करपाक आनी तें समज आमी करना वी हॅव नो रायट टू बी कॉल्ड एज अ इंडियन सिटीजन. सो आय थिंक इट्स आवर पार्ट टू प्ले एज फार एज टुडे इज कन्सर्न टुवर्ड्स द नेशन आनी इट्स नेशन बिल्डिंग. I will share it with you. They have already got the numbers. I don't have it here. We'll share it with you. But I think Jan to March figures were already out on the press.
Yeah, but April also.
April will just give you.
And so that is this coming quarter because the center is telling us to be austere and austere. So it's going to be a big. It's going to have a negative impact on tourism.
See, we have to look at it. We have to domestic tourists are spenders. The world has realized it. If the money moves and rotates within the country, India has to gain. Today you're going out and spending that money. If you're spending that same money in the country, Goa benefits, a tourism destination like Goa benefits. The same people spend it here.